A bit of a slow start to the trading day, but we're sitting at 4 billion rand worth of volume at this point, and we're up around 0.8%. What is your sense? Do you think that this vote in Europe is going to go through? Of course, we are waiting for Slovakia. Are the markets telling us that it's done and dusted?
Eleni, we've come off. I mean, you say the markets are hardly up to date, but we've had a massive rally. We've rallied 2,000 points off our lows from last week. We ended the week last week with good US jobs numbers coming out of the States. After hours, Spain and Italy were downgraded, but markets seem to like the fact that Merkel and Sarkozy have come out and said that they vow to come out with a solution to the euro debt crisis by month end. Markets reacted really positively to that and have staged a massive rally, although they haven't given us any details as to what their plan entails and how they're going to get to it. So there's a lot of skepticism still in the market, and we feel that the market is in the top of the range that it has been trading in. So we're seeing a lot of selling into this rally.
So we could expect actually more pressure, especially if the details of this mysterious package that Nicolas Sarkozy and Angela Merkel have been talking of could disappoint the market. And we've seen this before, where we talk of solution and we read the detail and the detail disappoints.
Exactly, Eleni. I mean, you've seen it. We've seen that this process repeated over and over. A rumor comes out and the rumor is refuted, and the markets have been at mercy of that. And markets are trading on a knife edge at the moment. Yes, there is optimism in the market, but as soon as something negative comes out, the markets have run hard. So if something negative does come out, the markets will potentially can potentially sell off quite hard.
With regards to what one should do when you look at all this volatility within the market, is it a trader's market, or would you say at this point that you could actually find quite a bit of value and looking at specific stocks?
Yeah, Eleni, I mean, you definitely can find value, but in my opinion, if you're going to be playing the market for value, you've got to be taking a longer term view. There's talk about our market going into, the world economy going into another recession, and we're not quite sure on what the extent of that's going to be. So if you are going to be taking a view on value, you're going to need it to be long term to be safe. So we'd be favouring, trading this market. It's been stuck in a range for the last 2 months now, and it's been trading quite nicely within that range. And we feel that we are near the top of our range at the moment, so we're not overly exposed at these levels.
So what do you do at this point? Do you short the rallies that you actually see coming through?
Eleni, that has been what a lot of people have been doing. The problem with shorting this market now is we are topish, but this market's been under pressure for a long time, and if optimism in Europe remains and gets better, and the path to success for fixing the eurozone gets more clearer, markets could potentially push up in the final quarter of the year. So that is the danger for the shorts in this market.
Of course, we saw Alcoa disappointing the market overnight. So the market was expecting a 22 cents per share profit, and Alcoa came in with 15 cents per share. What does that spell for the overall resource space? Because those are the stocks that are actually looking quite cheap, especially in South Africa.
Yeah, Eleni, I mean, our resource stocks are cheap at the moment. Alcoa results did disappoint. Metals prices have, however, been under pressure the last couple of weeks or months, so that could have impacted their results. And the big question right now, Eleni, is are we going into another recession? Is it a double dip recession? Is it going to be is it going to be a recession bigger than the first one we saw? We don't know. Numbers coming out from all over the show aren't exactly clear. Numbers are showing that there is a slowdown, but things aren't too bad at the moment. And that's the big question right now. Where to from now? Once we cross this. Once we get over this euro crisis, whether that's going to be, a few months or, years, then the next question is going to be, are we going into a recession now? And that's, that's the next subject.
When you see a giant such as BHP Billiton approving $1.2 billion in pre-commitment capital to copper assets in Australia, does that make you think that we should actually be slightly more positive about future prospects?
Yeah, Eleni, I don't think things are all gloomy and complete. We don't need to be completely bearish here. There aren't clear signs that we need to be bearish here. So those are positive signs that companies are willing to commit cash and continue with their expansion. And it's a good sign that people are spending money, or companies are spending money anyway.
With regards to Sasol, of course, this company under the spotlight because it is reviewing its operations in Iran because of the sanctions that the country is facing over its nuclear program. Sasol went ex-div this week. We know that it's starting to increase its geographical footprint, especially in the Americas. Shale gas seems to be a very big focus for the company. Is it a buy for you?
Eleni, yeah, we still think it's a buy around these levels. We don't cover it specifically, but I mean, I've looked at the analyst estimates. Guys, forecasts are, well north of 400 Rand in terms of target price for the stock. On forward PEs, it is trading in line with, the big resource stocks like the Anglos and Billetins. So we still consider it cheap, unless the unless we are going into another recession. If that is the case, then that changes things a little bit. But right now, as things stand, yes, we are bullish on Sasol.
SAB, of course, a lot of speculation around this company towards the end of last week, and it's down around 1% today, Richard. What do you make of the speculation, and would this stock be a buy for you?
Yeah, Eleni, the story broke on Thursday. There was an article in a Brazilian paper saying that Anheuser-Busch are planning a potential takeover of SAB Miller, which would equate to something like an $80 billion deal, which would make it the biggest cash takeover in history. When that news came out, breweries initially spiked up about 6% straight away to about 286. And then settled back down at 270. Since then, we haven't seen any more. We haven't heard any more on that story. But breweries is trading, strong and positively. So we wait to see for any further developments there.